Footage has also shown what appears to be CFIA officials taking the electrolytes the farmers have been pleading with them to give the sick bird, who is now dead. Well, why don't you describe what it shows?
We found out from amazing supporters here, they took footage that electrolyte bag was being dumped out in an area that was way far away from where she was even, where she has been. And that was really, really disheartening to see that an organization that is in the care of our animals would be lying to us and not be treating them like we've treated them for 35 years and giving them the care that they need.
They burning the country down.
They're watching you, big dog. They're watching you. And guess what?
The fuel and the barricades and the military operation of the drone jammers, and
is that what those were? Those strange devices?
Yeah, back there, and then there's some underneath camouflage netting that they're hiding. Yeah. Big telescopic devices. They have ladders going in and out of the kill box.
I went to the ostrich farm in Edgewood, British Columbia. It was a little bit reminiscent of the trucker convoy in that people there were their best foot forward, people were hopeful, but a little bit worried about their country, people of different backgrounds. People had come, they're not sure how long they would be there for. So many ways it's similar to the truckers. And I'll tell you, as I was driving in, I was by myself, as I was driving in, my first worry was, will the police keep me out? Because I know the police have been swarming, have been staging, they have been preparing, they have been observing, they have been spying. There was a police vehicle at the entrance to the road to the farm. I was immediately relieved that the police there were not yet in enforcement mode. In fact, I remember that from the trucker convoy too. And if you were there at the trucker convoy, you will remember that until they were given the terrible order by Justin Trudeau, they were in friendly mode. But the real evildoers, if I can think what they're doing is evil in a number of ways, and I'll explain that. The RCMP came to talk to us. In fact, I talked to the official spokesman for the RCMP for about 10 minutes, and I'll play some of that for you. But you see what's on the screen right now? What is that? Now you can see some ostriches there in the background. I was standing on a bit of a hill across the highway, and you can see there's like a little tent there, and there's some equipment. So there I am standing. You see there's a road, and beyond, and that's me trying to use the zoom. And you can see the birds there. And what are those huge bales of hay? Do they serve any purpose? They have no medical purpose. They have no ornithological purpose. They have no public health purpose. They are so that when they start to kill the birds, you will not be able to see them. You see what they're doing right there? They were disabling the surveillance cameras of the farm. So let me back up a bit. So the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, which are basically food police, have ordered this entire flock of hundreds of ostriches to be killed. And their rationale, they say, and look at that, they're wearing hazmat suits. All the birds are healthy. None of the RCMP are wearing hazmat suits. No one who's there is. They're doing that only for PR reasons. They're trying to make it look terrifying or something. And the thing is, they go from what they're calling the hot zone. They literally use that word in a press release yesterday. They go from the hot zone, and they don't stay nearby because the locals hate them. So they drive about an hour away to the town of Vernon, and they go to the hotel, and they go to the restaurant. And if there was really an Ebola-like scare, first of all, everyone would be wearing hazmat suits. Second of all, no one would be objecting to the cull of the birds. And third of all, they would not be going back to the hotel in Vernon. Here, yeah, tune the sound up here. This is me showing a little bit of the birds and the cops. I think this was sort of my general commentary. Put it on just for a second. And actually, can you find the one where a bird was killed? And yeah, play this one for a bit. But there was also one when a bird was killed or was dying, and they refused to let the farmer approach the bird in any way. Maybe, in fact, do you want to get that one first? It's 5 minutes long. And so basically the Canadian Food Inspection Agency has taken over half the farm. They've taken over the parts where the birds are. They put this yellow police tape around it, and they won't let the farmers tend to their animals. Yeah, that's the one right there. The one with the, no, the other one, that one you see right in the center of your screen there. Yeah, up, that's one, right there, perfect, yeah. So here's the head of the farm who was crying because an animal was being left to die alone and without any care. And if you have worked with animals for years and years and years and years, farmers often name their animals. I mean, they're not pets, but a farmer cares about their animals. The animal is in pain, is dying. It's all happening in real time. And you see that yellow police tape. They were not allowing the farmer to console, contact, ease the pain and suffering of the animal. It was dying alone in the dust. And you can see the lady, in fact, turn the volume up. I'll talk over it, but turn the volume up. She's saying to the RCMP, can you do something? Can I visit the bird? And he basically commiserated with her and said, you know the rules. I'll pass it on to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Yeah, I'll be quiet. Play for a minute and we'll listen to her make the case.
Because we did those finishes, she's dying alone. This is the most painful thing. They're right there. They're right there. We're not aggressive. We're not hurting anybody. We just want to give her love. They've been loved for 35 years by us. We would have never let them die alone. She's dying by herself because we are being punished. By line, by this tape, we're being punished. It's not fair. She's dying for being healthy. She's dying because we.
So that cop is listening to this, and he later says, you know there's nothing I can do. Like, he was sort of nice about how he said it, but he was speaking the truth. There's nothing he can do because he's not the boss. He's like the bodyguards to the boss, who are those Ottawa bureaucrats. Now, can you skip to 30 seconds from the end? Because I was just standing there silently filming that. And then this guy shows up. Yeah, go back 10 seconds earlier than that. And this guy, instead of commiserating, he's recording. He's got a mask on to hide his identity. And turn up the volume, because I just asked him a few questions. So back up 10 seconds and turn up the volume, and I'll be quiet.
Thanks for your help.
We'll do what we can.
Please help. Please help me. This is wrong.
Are you live streaming, officer? Are you live streaming, or are you just filming our faces?
Yeah.
So why is he filming?
What are you filming for? Why are you hiding your own face?
Let's leave this, okay? Katie doesn't want that.
All right.
Katie does not want that. Think about Katie. Think about her.
So I asked him, are you live streaming? Why are you recording? Why are you hiding your face? What's that for? Like, literally, why did he come over and record everybody? Can you tell me why he did that? If I was that cop, I'd be ashamed to show my face also, frankly. So there's different cops, and you can see different ones have different relations with authoritarianism. Some people go into policing to be a Robert Peel type of policeman of the community, listening to the community, spending time with people in the community, really being a delegate of the community. Robert Peel said, a policeman is of the community and community are the police. It's just that police do it full time. What was that cop doing filming people? No one was doing anything wrong. Why was he coming with his face masked to film people? Like, what the hell is his problem? Who the hell is he? Anyhow, I asked if I could speak to the top cop, and they said, oh, he's in, I forget where he was, in Surrey or something. And I said, well, I'm not interested in talking to him then. He'll know less than me. And then, weirdly, they said, oh, actually, he's right here, and he'll talk to you. So this was actually the very first interview I did upon arriving there on the scene. So I didn't really have a lot of the facts in hand yet, but I thought, well, let me start with talking to the cop, because they actually went and got him. When maybe they recognized Rebel News and realized that we really are leading the coverage of this. We've done 60 news stories about it, almost all of them by our friend Drea Humphrey, who's really the queen of the ostriches now. She's well loved and well known there. Certainly her reputation precedes me, and I was welcomed as well because people love what Drea is doing. So at first they said, oh, our spokesman is far away. He's in Syria. I said, well, I don't care what he has to say then. But then, surprised he wasn't in Syria. That was a bit of a fib. And they went and got him. Why don't we play it? I think it's an 11-minute clip. We won't necessarily play all of it. But I was trying to be smart. I was trying not to be rude or mean because I wanted information from him. And it is a fact. He's not the bad guy here. Now, maybe he should be more of a good guy, but I don't think he's the bad guy. The bad guy are, of course, these Ottawa bureaucrats who want to kill 400 birds because a year ago, 2 of them had the sniffles. Anyway, here's my conversation with, I think his name was Kerry Clark. Let's take a listen.
Now, I spoke to some of the other officers. They're coming in from pretty far afield. I mean, it looks like a pretty big operation. Are you at liberty to disclose how many RCMP are involved?
We don't speak to the numbers specifically for operational security reasons. What I can tell you is there are a number of different support units under the critical response unit here. So overall operations is conducted by critical response unit, which responds to such things as wildfires, floods, things of that nature, as well as protests. Those support services that you may have seen over the last couple of weeks, we have remote powered aircraft system, obviously. We've got some medics here, among others. So to ensure that we don't compromise public safety in any one community, we bring in officers from across the province.
Looks like a pretty big operation. One officer said more than 30, and you just described other, the ambulance, which I think I saw drive by. How long have you guys been out here? Has it been a couple of weeks now?
So we arrived early morning on September 22nd, okay, and we will remain on site until CFIA concludes their business.
Can I ask, maybe you don't know the answer, who's paying for that? Because you guys, I'm guessing there's some overtime, I'm guessing there's some hotels and restaurants, and even if it is just 30, and I suspect it's probably more, that's a pretty big operation.
I don't have the specific
like with the
funding model is. So.
Like the CFIA, would they have contacted you, or would, who said, hey, bring all the RCMP down? Does the CFIA have the power to do that, or was that a decision by the Solicitor General maybe?
So to be clear, this is a CFIA operation.
Okay.
And so it's a search warrant that they've executed, and we're here at their request.
Okay.
Anyway, the conversation goes on for a bit, but basically the bureaucrats in charge of food have commandeered 30, 40, 50 real police because they're worried they'll be torn to shreds by ordinary people if they're unguarded. It's weird that it's the Canadian Food Inspection Agency because these birds, these ostriches, are not being farmed for food. They're not being farmed for leather, or there may be other uses for a bird. They are actually part of a test to test therapies for non-mRNA therapies for different diseases, including the flu. And one of the theories, speculation, is that the reason they're so obsessed with this is they want to kill off these birds, so the theory goes, to avoid any competitors to the mRNA vaccines. And the theory is that may be a reason why RFK Jr. weighed in on this. In fact, Olivia, if it's easy, if you could call up RFK Jr.'s letter about this, I wouldn't mind reading it on air to refresh my memory about what he said. And it's really weird. And you saw at the beginning all those hay bales were stacked up into sort of giant 10-foot high visual barriers. And Olivia, do you have those photos? I didn't capture them myself, but someone who was on the road with me snapped a couple of photos, I don't know if you have them, of drone countermeasures. Like if anyone's following the Russia-Ukraine war, it's a drone war as much as an artillery war or anything else. And the drones and the counter drones and the anti-drones, it's an enormous field of military aviation. And what's incredible to me is the high-tech devices being set up around the property, and something that looks like a kind of electronic gun, like an EMP gun, that the sole purpose of which is to stop people from watching what happens. I don't know what their budget is. It's got to be in the millions. To have 50 RCMP pulled in from all across the province, put up in a hotel, paid overtime, paid this per diems, etc. This is a multi-million-dollar operation. How much have they spent on anti-drone technology? And how weird is it that I'm saying the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is spending millions on anti-drone technology? Like, what are they defending Dnipro in the battle with Russia? Like, why are they doing military-style drones and anti-drones? It's so weird. And the fact that the CFIA have not made themselves available for interviews, like
For the best, under the circumstances. This is our liaison team. They're all really good guys. They've been really good with us and stuff. But that's our liaison team. They are working between the farm and the CFIA and so on and so forth. I'm hoping that, you know, with the hard copy, maybe it's going to give them time to look at it, and that's what the 7th was. So that's by the letter.
You want to borrow my ball? Sarah, you want to borrow my ball? Yeah, okay.
Dead end road, and there's police in the shadows there too.
A warrior is not finished when he is defeated. He is finished when he quits.
Buddy pipe layer comes along, stops my loader, moves over, directly over that valve, has him dump all of it on the valve, on the valve, and then around the corner.
Can you go on eBay and find out how the gates are coming in?
I don't have eBay at all now. I'm kind of used to it. I told him
eBay's the only one that we've got at the current time, unless somebody wishes to call in. Ken, what is the phone number that they could call in on you for?
Wow.
Oh,
you could get fired.
What is it here?
I got you now. Well, no, I didn't get fired. I got moved off of this crew and onto a crew of a 4236 absolute dog. 18 was so fair, you know, and they're so easy to
Okay, so
work with them.
that phone number, if you call in, we will be able to update you and take the highest live auction against what's going on eBay. So if you don't have an eBay account,
236 978 228. That's where you can bid on
Dave's or anyone. Right now we've got a $500 bid, and I don't think the individual is reflected there on the eBay auction. So the eBay might be a little bit behind what we have knowledge on the ground. So that's just to give you an understanding of what is happening as it sits here.
were you just operating louder or?
No, I don't have that. Nobody gives me a megaphone. I'm so loud.
Thanks very much for.
Let's just take a look. We've got a number of hours here. We've got a half an hour. Well,
then
40
other
minutes.
days too.
What's this?
Then other days too.
Well, but this is the end of Dave's stocking. He's not going to do. So this is for Dave.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Spread the word.
For Dave and
Take it
Michelle.
out. You understand the process?
I do now.
Thank you.
What do you mean by it's 4 days? Oh, well, it's Dave's stocking. Phil's stocking. So the auction, and he actually got a. He was talking to Omar on the phone, and Omar bid $500 for Dave's stocking.
Yes. So that's where we got a live $500 auction. Isn't that cool? So the live auction, as you see on eBay, might get a little delayed. And so we found out we have nobody here with eBay. So we'll put up to tell us how active we are in that particular sales transaction. But we really did try to get as many people to come out here at the bleachers. That was something, and that's what we're doing.
What time is it? It's now 20 after 5.
20 after 5, and we're going to be here from 5 to 6.
Did they just, yeah, it's like 6:30.
Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my God. Deborah posted about that, the paid employee that apparently did that thing. And then when he said Deborah, he was not employed, she said, I will if you will. The man was your maintenance man. Assumptions were made that you are the business contract. down there. I said, so you agree you let me use this information?
Hello. We're locked in. Save us.